Welcome to a new game of Civ 6 here, in early turns with Gilgamesh, hoping to get a Diplo victory this time. We have just established our religion just a couple of turns ago. It's turn 38 now, and if you have a look at the history timeline, you can see that we indeed established our religion just a couple of turns ago on turn 36. We are in the process of building a temple with the hope to get Mahabodhi. Obviously, that's one of the first steps to being able to get those crucial Diplo victory points. I'm in a bit of a bind, as you can see. There's not much land here. There's a lot of tundra. Don't really want to settle there. There's a whole bunch of city-states that are, in some ways, protecting us from Inca, but also kind of in our way. And they have a lot of units already, and walls, even though this one's been flooded a little bit. So, trying to find land in this game is going to be difficult. I also want to talk a little bit more about Singapore. Because, you know, last time we did a video about city-states, and I tried to get all the points that I wanted to about the general game with you interacting as a player to city-states in general. But I never really talked specifically about individual city-states. Singapore, I would say, is a bit of a trap of a city-state, and the reason why is because even though it can provide production, it can also be easily misunderstood. At least I did at first, and I want to go through why I don't think it's a particularly good city-state and what would have made it so much better. So let's have a look here. We are sues on both Nazca and Singapore, by the way, so at least we're getting that, and that allowing us to get even more favor for our game. It says here, for the Singapore unique bonus, that your cities receive +2 production for each foreign civilization they have a trade route to. So, the key here is to not misunderstand this as your cities receive +2 production for each foreign civilization you have a trade route to. And I feel like if that was what Singapore actually was, it would be pretty decent. It's quite a commitment, especially in the early game when they haven't been... The alliance levels are still 1, and you're not really getting much bang for your buck when it comes to international trade routes. For you to invest a trader, which you don't have many, of course, we only have 1 trader slot, into a suboptimal trade route, instead of building with farming, with food and production, your own domestic routes, which is what you kind of want early game. This wants you to go out and see other things and trade route with other civilizations, and I believe city-states work as well. But this would be so much better if you could kind of like dedicate some traders in one city, maybe it has a great Zimbabwe, whatever, and have your entire empire be buffed. I don't think it would be broken, but it would be viable. In this case, giving 1 city +2 production because you want to do that instead of getting 4 or 5 or maybe at least 3 production from your own cities just never seems to be worth it. So something to bear in mind. Welcome back. We're almost 100 turns into the game now, and I want to talk more about what we've been able to achieve since the last 30 odd turns have passed. One of the things that we've been able to do is, of course, achieve Mahabodhi Temple. We also are about to get Hagia Sophia. You can see over here that we have suzerainty on quite a few city-states, more than my average game, so I'd have really loved to have been able to get Kilwa. Unfortunately, of course, it would be my luck, though Kilwa isn't necessarily the easiest wonder to get, that the Khmer indeed beat us to it, which is a shame, because otherwise I would have happily researched it. It's just over here I made a pass-through instead. We also managed to get Temple of Artemis, which has really helped boost our caps population. However, we are still getting more population from Lagash, which is just quite interesting. But with Wilka Waman nearby, hoping to be able to loyalty pressure that to at least get us 1 more city. Meanwhile, we have our own settler about to take the voyage overseas with its escorted archer all the way to here, hoping to make advantage of this quite fertile land with a lot of citrus and pearls and a lot of luxuries to help boost the strength of that. You rejoin us now in turn 115, where we're still under incredible pressure by the Bobs. As you can see, they have a whole bunch of units, and they're pretty heavily advanced too. Line infantrymen and siege cannons. You know, really annoying. We have built walls, at least. I mean, we want to anyway, since this is a diplomacy game. We have Renaissance walls that can help us out. And I've also managed to acquire some units, some knights, hoping to be able to do some help with that. Also, we're under significant, like, religious pressure from the Khmer. I'm surprised that these barb units aren't just trying to condemn these religious units. Very strange indeed. But, you know, it's a thing. Also, even though there's been a lot of forward settlement pressure by the Inca, and we've been struggling to get land and cities out throughout the entire course of this game, you can see, at least, we're making some pretty decent pressure on Wilkham and Waman. We have both a 12-size city in Lagash and a 9-size capital in Uruk, as well as an 11-size city in Eridu, all able to apply some nearby pressure. If we have a look at our current loyalty figures, you can see that this is falling at -15 for like a remaining 6 turns to go into rebellion. This is at 29, this is at 29, and this is at 29, all of which having governors Liang, Pingala, and Reina, which really helps us hopefully be able to get another city, because we've been starved of cities for a while. And speaking of cities, here we founded our new city, Adab. Sorry. Some names are too good to pass up, you know? Some more bar pressures, they seem to be a common trend with this game. But at least we have an archer to help stave off the swordsman. It's not a line infantryman, so we shouldn't be under too much pressure. We've already established an industry, which is very nice. We plan to be able to make a pretty strong industrial zone with a lot of adjacency bonuses. I'm pleased to announce, through the struggle and strife that's been this entire game, we have been able to come out for the other side, and we're now on the closing turn, about to finish our climate accords, get the necessary diplomatic victory points that we need in order to be able to win the game. This will be accrued with a 21-point total next turn. Just to give an idea on how close we were to losing this one, let's have a look at how close Cree were to science. They already researched 77 techs, and they have over 500 science, and they were already in their last section. It was ridiculously close. Like, that got even closer. But it is just pretty incredible. And I've heard a lot of people actually who watch Civ 6 content from other creators really enjoy a game of adversity and trying to overcome challenges. And you can see here, with the lack of cities, with the constant pressure, we did manage to secure Wilkamaman, which is nice. At least we got that in our favor. And the constant religious pressure, now there's some Aztec religion going here, but we managed to hold that off. The amazing amount of barbs. There have been so many ways that this game has challenged us, and yet we found a way to come through. Yes, it was a diplomacy game, maybe not the most difficult win con out there, but it was certainly a challenging one. I hope you enjoyed it, and please do feel free to subscribe to the channel for more Civ 6 content. I'm sure we've got a lot more to go.
From your earliest desire to live in peace, to the times when you stood against aggression, you have always sought cooperation. You did not do this merely to brighten your own glory, but because dignity belongs to each of us. And in so doing, you have proved that your ancient and eternal commitment to a shared peace will be the foundation of the world of tomorrow.